Hey everyone, I'm Gerald Wessels with the Wessels Realty Team, and it's my pleasure to welcome you back to our real estate channel where we've been discussing 30 real estate questions in 30 days. And today's topic will be why realtors use certain attorneys in real estate closings. Now, we discussed a couple weeks ago why realtors or real estate agents enjoy working with just certain mortgage people, but how does that compare or contrast with working with certain real estate attorneys? Well, stay tuned and we'll discuss this very important subject today. So as you can guess, because we're dealing with legal issues here, or at least with attorneys, I'm going to be very careful what I say. In fact, I'm having an attorney take a look at this video even before I post it. Now, let me just tell you about some general things here in the state of Georgia. If you look at page 3 of the purchase and sale document, you will see there's 3 things that really stick out. Number 1, the selection of the closing attorney is really the buyer's prerogative. The selection of the real estate closing attorney is the prerogative of the buyer. Now, of course, sometimes that's negotiated and sometimes we have to go back and forth a bit on that, but it's supposed to be the buyer's prerogative. Number 2, in the state of Georgia at least, now every state's a little bit different on this, but in the state of Georgia, the real estate closing attorney represents the mortgage company. They are making sure that everything's correct as far as the mortgage goes. Now, there is a situation where if there is not a mortgage involved, the document actually states then the attorney is representing the buyer. And I don't know if that's something new. I didn't realize that actually. But if there, we've talked about it before. What if there's not a mortgage? Well, if there isn't, the document states that the attorney is actually representing the buyer. Now, why do we real estate agents prefer certain closing attorneys? Well, I'm going to give you my perspective on it. Well, number 1, I want to deal with somebody who specializes in real estate. Needless to say, every profession, it seems like this day, is specializing. If you go see a doctor, you're going to see a special doctor for certain different things that go on with your body. Well, it's the same way in the real estate industry. There are certain real estate attorneys. Now, they may practice other kinds of law, but I like to deal with somebody who specializes in real estate. Besides their experience and their focus in that particular area, a lot of times they have pre-closers, closers, and post-closers on staff. The people who are going to be looking up to see what kind of loans might be against this particular property and dealing with, things like your water and your septic, all those kinds of things. They have people who do all the paperwork concerning the closing, which oftentimes it's not an attorney. The attorney is just going to be proofing all of it and setting in the closing, and then post-closers as well. And most agencies that deal with real estate, at least here in the state of Georgia, are going to have something like that. And that is why I like to use somebody whose main business is real estate closings. Number 2, I want to deal with somebody who has some kind of bedside manner. Some people say, well, I don't care about their bedside manner. I just want the best person legally. Well, I want that as well. But when we are having somebody do these closings, my goodness, it can be a very emotional thing. Maybe there's been some things go on with the seller, some things go on with the buyer. We're trying to keep some kind of decorum in the closing, and it just helps. Let me just tell you from experience, it helps if we have a closing attorney who can just have a great bedside manner. It just makes the real estate closing go so well. As I shared with you, somebody who had done closings in another country said, we can't even imagine that the buyer and the seller would be in the same room. And sometimes when there's been a divorce or something emotional is going on, it doesn't happen. But typically here in Georgia, we have the buyer and the seller present for our closing. So we want somebody that has some kind of bedside manner. I want somebody, number 3, who has a professional that does the paperwork. We want somebody that's behind the screens. I talk about with my agents, my clients, that it's like the great divorce after we've sort of got through the due diligence period and we're coming up to the time of the closing, but there's really a whole lot going on during that time. These people are getting all the proper paperwork in place so that when we get everybody together for the closing, it goes well. And, you know, quite honestly, number 4, we like people we've dealt with before. And what I mean by that is most of us are closing several deals every month at least. And we know the companies who do a great job in getting this paperwork done efficiently and those that don't. Now, I'm not going to give you a list of both of those. Some of you are going to say, well, Gerald, you know, I know that your son is a real estate attorney. Well, he is. And I have experience with him. I have experience with other real estate attorneys. And we just want somebody that we have a good track record, that we see that they treat our clients well. And that is so important because not only do we want the whole process to be smooth, but we want the end to be smooth as well, and that you have a great experience as you either buy, sell, or invest in real estate. And so, once again, especially on this video, nothing of what I have said is to be taken as legal advice. I mean, certainly even with a real estate closing, if you want to bring your own attorney to the closing, you can do that. Even in our state, it rarely happens, but it can happen. And so I encourage you that if you need legal advice in this area, to find your real estate attorney or your attorney, talk to your real estate agent, get that advice from them directly. I want to remind you also, you know the scoop by now. With these real estate videos, it really helps me. 1, if you'll subscribe. 2, if you hit the little bell, then whenever a new real estate video comes out, you're going to be notified of that. And of course, number 3, if this has been of value to you, I hope you just give it a thumbs up. It helps us a lot with getting these out. I also want to remind you that I help people buy, sell, invest in residential and commercial real estate, and I refer people all over the world. And so if I can help you in that area, it'd be my pleasure to do so. And until the next real estate video comes out, I'll look forward to seeing you.